part of everything that they had you bound to. You got knocked down, ho, get ready for round two. It's round two. Get ready for round two. Come back, run rap, run laps around these cats, jump back, kiss myself, still keeping me intact. Weird and black, they for that, hold up, steer it back. Weird and black, they revere that. Yup, you hear that?
Turnstile, switch it up. Young nigga raised hard, he learned not to give a fuck. Young nigga came far, still never give enough. Coming with the flavor, delicious, so she lick it up. Bust down, stick it up, I put it down, so pick it up. Scud town, saviors, done some till he shift to musk. Stench so stank that the shit compare soft to us. Crud so dank, make your face smell to dripping, cuz club go shake when the bass gets to hitting ya. They ain't really hearing us, but they gon' feel something when the way is paved clear enough. I don't fear nothing but the fate, is God really not? Well, fuck it, got the world in my hands, and that's real enough. Fuck it, got the world in my hands, gold forms to touch. Might just spend it all one time to give it all to us. Yeah, give it all to us.
Yeah. This that hip-hop body, rock, hardcore, karate, chop, neo-Nazi, nasty, not feel it in my chest. How could you wear that name? Must be automatic shame, he's an automatic lame, heard it from the best. Fresh flow, let's go, plus I got a lot of heart. It's necessary when you dabble in this art. Grab canvas, paint picture, use them acrylics, paint a picture so vivid, the people gotta feel it like the Kaaba. Lyrics bear fruit like guava, words spilling out of my brain like lava. Spills out the top of a volcano, and they know that A-Right is not the one to play no. I'm Kano in Mortal Kombat, cause the lyrics like blades. Aim it at your juggler when I'm on stage. Until you heard me spit, homie, you ain't heard rage. On another chapter, so turn a turn. Okay, got that out my system. A-Right on another planet, dog, you must have missed them. When I do it, how I do it's of my own volition. Go make my destination even in the worst condition. My crew's the Blues Brothers, cause you know we on a mission. Eternity of roses I make bumping in your system. I mean, banging in it, I'm still hanging in it. I got a gang of wisdom, I got a gang of rhythms, I got a lot of soul. I found the pot of gold, I'm wrapping that shit up, gon' sell it to the globe. I got some game to give them, they don't really want, but they really need it. And I want you to succeed, I want you to be free. I want you to remove every obstacle from being what you truly wanna be. I truly wanna see, and I can only lead by example. So here's a sample for me, so get up.
He's the one drinking beer. I'm drinking water.
2 touchdowns a game?
Yes, in the game. You're tripping.
How you high? No,
It is fucking Super Bowl time.
I don't know what we're doing in that front office, man. Twiddling our fucking dick.
Ryan, I just need you to drink
Wide receiver trivia. That's what she said.
Her.
Fuck.
Her upset.
Are those crutches?
You can see Ryan's crutches. Welcome back, folks.
There we go.
Welcome back to your favorite podcast on the internet. This is After Further Review, episode 140. I am your co-host, Jalen Brown. Go ahead, Nestor.
And I'm your other great co-host, Nestor.
Literally pointed at him. That's fine. I am once again the best looking co-host.
Right, Shaq's not here.
Well, no, okay, let's not be that disrespectful. Okay. I mean, there's a difference between being better looking and being in multiple areas. Okay, so yes, we do have a biodome shaped void here. Mickey is very disappointed because he wanted to rape Shaq.
Yeah.
But Shaq is not here because his heat lost.
Yep.
And he's a bitch. And so he decided not to show up. So that he could take the heat from the Heat losing in the finals.
Yes.
He's going to claim there's some work thing.
Right.
But
it just so happened to be on this Wednesday, but, you know.
We all know there's a double diamond out there somewhere.
Disappointed, Shaq. I'm disappointed.
You even disappointed Nestor. You know how hard it takes to disappoint Nestor?
Right.
He's a Dolphins fan.
Okay.
That was I apologize.
That hurts.
I apologize.
Let's take our opening cheers.
Yeah. With the triple unholy, because
Yes.
I want more.
Nestor out there with the windows down when he leaves here, blaring "fuck the police."
All his lights off.
He's like, I go clubbing with my family.
They're arresting me. Hey, I got a flight tomorrow to Colombia.
Yeah, so we're gonna play a little tribute here to all the Heat fans out here. So
This is for you, Nestor.
right.
This is
And Shaq, but Shaq isn't here, so.
If Miami can maintain their momentum and find a way to beat the Bucks in this series, you will be seeing us in the final. There's no question, ifs, ands, or buts about it. So be prepared to see us.
And the Miami Heat become the 6th in NBA history to win as an 8th seed in the first round.
Game one.
Wants his ring,
There you
and he's
go.
gonna get it.
There you
And he's like, "Fuck him." But he's got to play lights out. He's gonna come out there and play lights out. Butler's gonna put the whole load on his shoulders. And I say he wins game one. Great momentum. That's how you start a series.
All three of the previous series, they were the underdog. All three of those series, they won game one.
Yeah,
Denver's 9-0 at home in the playoffs. They take game one. Game three of the NBA Finals. The Denver Nuggets win their 4th straight road game in these playoffs and regain home court advantage. Game 4 of the NBA Finals.
This is poetry.
Denver Nuggets are 1 win away from their first ever NBA title. Game 5 of the NBA Finals. Murray falling away. Rebound, Brown banks it home. Bruce Brown puts the Nuggets back up by 1. Jimmy Butler on the drive, gets inside, stops. Stolen by Caldwell Pope. And a foul. 2 clutch free throws from Contavious Caldwell Pope. It's over. At last, the long wait is over. After 47 years, the Denver Nuggets can finally call themselves NBA champions.
Still waiting, wanting that to keep me out of shell. Don't you leave me out, picking with my new bitch eyes still.
Folks.
Oh, that's so good.
That's where we're at.
That's got goosebumps. I don't know if that's worthy of an Emmy, but that's right up there with like 30 for 30 with ESPN. That is some beautiful work.
2 minutes of glory right there.
The funny thing is, Nestor, I got to be honest, I started texting Jalen right after the game, this is what we need to do.
Yeah.
It was either going to be that, or I was going to have to spend some money and show up in the Denver Nuggets championship shirt.
Or get a big Denver flag and stretch it across here.
But there is a legitimate fear of Shaq actually getting so mad at me he headbutts me. And at that point, I'll go back in time. And even though I'm nostalgic about the 80s, I don't want to relive the 80s, but I kind of feel like his headbutt would be like a DeLorean effect. You like flux capacitor my ass back to the mid-80s if I did that. So
it just vanish.
So
it might send you to a timeline where we won the finals.
Sure, that'd be a shorter flight. A shorter flight.
You would really be lost then. Who knows what's happening?
It would still hurt though. Big ass bow though.
Yes, folks. So Denver got it done 2 nights ago, or whenever that was. Winning their first title, and props to them. They did in 5 games, as I predicted. And Shaq, Nestor, go ahead. What were your initial thoughts on this, the outcome of this series?
If you need to lay down and put your head here, you need to be on the couch.
I feel like, man, I don't honestly, I don't even know. I am speechless, still speechless about all that.
Speechless.
I feel like when people were saying that we shot too well that game that we won and that we couldn't repeat it, I was like, they kind of got a point. But I was hoping we could pull off, another upset, take the game back to Miami, kind of take the game longer, take the series into like that game 7 and kind of work a miracle, because they are more talented than us. Like, they just are. It's not just size; they're just way more talented.
Boston was more talented,
right?
If you look at those players that we got, Gabe Vincent and
Strus.
Yeah. If you see their numbers after we won those last few games, they were terrible. These guys are not playing good. So I don't know. And Jimmy wasn't really playoff Jimmy.
Himmy
for us.
Butler.
But I don't put that blame on him. I just
You don't?
I blame him, yes. I blame the whole team, but I don't really hold it too much against him, because we shouldn't even be there. And the fact that we were there, that we weren't expected to be there is what I mean.
You mean
that we went to the finals, we beat the teams that we beat. It was thanks to him, largely, There was a few games against the Celtics that
what
those other players
was it though?
stood up. What
was it really because of him?
I mean, the other players stepped up, and we got great coaching. But man, I was hoping we could steal this finals, and we need help. We need Dame. I don't know if we need Dame. I don't know who we need, but we need some help.
We're gonna get to that.
We will get to that in a second.
We've
some help
added
quick.
that into the thing.
Pat Riley, I don't know what you're gonna do, but please.
I'll just go real quick before you go, Malin. To me, it just looked like you guys turned back to the team you were in the regular season. It's like you were on kind of borrowed time the whole postseason, or you overperformed the whole postseason because you guys just shot the 3-ball out of your minds. Because the whole regular season, you were one of the worst 3-point shooting teams in the NBA. So the fact that like Martin, Strus, Vincent, Lowry, all of them just shot really, really well in the playoffs, and then. Once you get all the way to the finals, it's kind of like dare I say luck or whatever you want to call it. The hot shooting just finally cooled off, and it was at the worst possible time. Yeah. And you guys needed it because Jimmy Butler is not that kind of a dude. Like, he has his moments, but I mean, we've seen it. We saw it in the bubble. We saw it in the Eastern Conference Finals last year. We've seen it now this year. He will not consistently show up. Like, he'll have his moments, his flares, but to like rely and be like, all right, yeah, Jimmy's gonna take this game over. Like, you can kind of rely on somebody like LeBron or maybe even a Kevin Durant. You're not relying on Jimmy Butler to come.
So you mean he's like Jason Tatum?
Oh, no, bang bang there.
I see what you did. That was cute. We kind of deserve it. Actually, we do deserve it because we lost y'all last. But before I give a recap on like the series, right? Can we just for a moment? Can we talk about the game 5?
Can we not?
Just how god awful the entire game was.
Yes.
It was like from the Heat playing, the Nuggets playing, the officiating, for God's sakes. Like, I couldn't tell if, like, did we, like, get rid of the hand check rule? Were you allowed to do that anymore? Are we doing WWE rules? Like, is Ric Flair about to jump out there?
Right.
and hit somebody? Like, there were so many, like, bodies crashing. And I'm like, how is that not a foul?
Yeah.
And I don't want to hear. Okay, you can go ahead and try to explain if you want to.
Oh.
That foul on Jimmy Butler.
Yeah, that was definitely.
That he ended up getting 3 free throws. Yeah. That was not a foul. That was a Kobe play right there.
It's not a foul, but I completely understand it from the NBA. I'm not surprised they would call that a foul, honestly.
That's disgusting.
I can't. They reviewed it.
I would
and
expect
like
something
they,
from
they
them.
challenged it, looked at it again. We're like,
the fact that it was reviewed and it still stood. Like, that was a Kobe thing. Kobe used to do that. When he would do the follow away, he would kick his leg out there to draw the foul. Harden would just put his belly out there. But they started calling fouls on Kobe later in his career. And Jimmy Butler did the same thing. And I was like, there's no, like, he's the one that drew the contact. There was no reason for the leg to go out that far. The announcers were saying,
right,
they're going to call that bad. That's not going to be it. And, like, they were shocked. And I was like, okay, so the NBA just wants money at this point. Like, they really want this to happen. Now, I will say this, that Jimmy Butler scored, 12 points in a row in the fourth quarter? The Heat, before that, 5 points.
Yep.
5 points in the fourth quarter. If he did not go off, because a lot of people are blaming Jimmy Butler for them losing that game. If he didn't go off for that 12 points, it would have been a runaway and it would have been a snoozer. It was only close because of him. Now, he just start feeling himself a little bit and start jacking up threes like a freaking lumberjack, chopping down trees.
Right.
That were just ridiculous. And like you said, like, he overthought that turnover. Like, he got himself into a pickle. Deep in there, and he was like, I gotta kick it back out, and he just reacted, and he didn't really see the floor the way that he needed to before he made that pass. So I just thought the game in and of itself was a shit show. Now, I will say 2 things. The Jordan family is now 6 of 8 in the finals. So, because we all know that Jimmy Butler is Jordan's bastard son. You've seen the pictures. I showed you what Jimmy Butler looks like bald. We don't need facial recognition. We just need the eye test.
Jordan family.
Okay. So the Jordan family is 6 of 8 in the finals. So what I'm gonna say about this is one, before we talk about the Heat, because that's the next thing. So I want to talk about Denver for just a second on this. Okay, first of all, Murray, love that guy. He's amazing. I want to get your guys' insight on the Joker after they won the NBA Finals, because I have never in my life seen somebody so disinterested or just so unamused that they won the NBA championship. There was no emotion. And the fact that, like, they asked him, hey, you got the parade coming up. And he was like, when parade? When parade? And they said Thursday. And he's like, live, no, I got to go home. Like, he was stressed. He was like, I won you guys the ring. Now, like, he kind of feels like Griner now. I think he feels like Brittany Griner, like he's being held captive in America.
Wait a second, jail?
He's like, am I a prisoner here? Like, I gave you guys the chip. Now you need me here to celebrate it. Like, can't I go home to Serbia? I got horses. I don't know what his love affair with the horses is, but he's got horses and horse racing.
He races, yeah.
And he was like, Thursday, no. And he was just very matter of fact. And then they ask him again in another interview, and he's like, I understand that some people think sport is life, and
right.
It's like your day job, like how many people love what they do for work. And I'm like, this man literally treats this like he works at a goddamn coal mine. Does he not? Yes. He's like clocking in and clocking out. He has a paper time card. He's like, give me my however $1 million I get. Now I'm off the clock and let me go home to Serbia with my horses, man.
It's in the tunnel. He just clocks it as he comes in and goes out.
Exactly. He's like, go up the elevator, got the soot all over me. He's like, I did it, bitches. 47 years. Your nugget asses couldn't do it. You had Carmelo, Iverson. You had Dikembe Mutombo at one point. You ain't got nothing. I delivered it. Let me go home. Don't make me ride on some open air thing.
Just contrast this to when
Denver.
LeBron won his first ring.
Right. Or it's like the second coming.
I don't know. Well, he was like relieved. He was
Right,
like, okay,
right.
I got it. Right. But he's just like, but like the Joker's like, nah, man, I ain't about the celebration.
Yeah,
So what do you guys think about that?
I personally don't have an issue with it. I heard Shannon Sharp summed it up like perfectly, that like the Joker before the ball tipped off, he basically in the Joker's head thinks of it like, I got 2 hours to finish this game, win this damn chip, and get my family back home so I can put them to sleep. Like,
Yeah.
that's how he views it.
This Sunday I got a horse race.
Right.
So if I don't win tonight, I don't get to see the horses run. And then they're like, you got to parade on Thursday. He's like, God, Americans?
You're just delaying me.
He's like,
going
you
home.
people with your obsessiveness with winning.
Yeah, it doesn't bother me. To me, it's really funny. Like, just the matter of factness to him is just like the fact that he's that good, and it's not exactly his top priority in life. Just goes to show that it's just ridiculous.
I saw a TikTok about how he shot his threes, and he's like, the guy was just closing his he had his eyes closed, and he just shot it like Napoleon Dynamite, and he just boom went in his switch. He's like, yes, that's it. Like he's so unathletic. So like he's not trying.
That's what makes me angry.
Give a damn.
That's what's always made me mad about the Joker, and I call him the rashy ass because his skin turns red like when he plays. Now, is he one of the best players in basketball? Yes, but he's not even trying at this point.
No, not really.
I really don't. Like, you're not going to hear anybody get up in a 30 for 30 and talk about the Kobe work ethic when it comes to Jokic. It's not going to happen.
Well, I should say he's trying, but he's not the type of dude to give 110. Like, that's not.
And I think he does give 110% within the parameters that he is setting for himself.
Yes.
To have the work-life balance that he wants.
Mm-hmm.
But to him, clearly, and this might be just a more of an American thing, maybe we're more obsessed with winning
right
than other people are around the world. Maybe not. I mean, the Russians were doping people with the Olympics, so maybe they really wanted to win too. But there are other people that grow up in lives, and I don't know how hard it was for him to grow up in Serbia, but there's got to be some hard places in America too. But maybe
it's just a different way.
Yeah, maybe he wasn't growing up thinking, you know what, I need to win the NBA title.
Right.
So maybe it's just not that important. to him,
Right.
but
We're here
to
like
see the lack
fantasy.
of emotion, though.
Mm-hmm. It is quite the change.
It was kind of anticlimactic.
Yeah, unlike when Giannis won his first one a couple of years ago, and it was just like, praise God, and it, like couldn't believe it.
But
then it's like, all right, when am I going to get to go home?
all I could think of was the contrast between the desire for Jimmy Butler to winning is everything. I need to win. And the Joker's like, cool, we won. Can I go home now? Like, I did what you wanted me to do. Pay me my money so I could go back. We got horse races. Like, he doesn't care. And that's so crazy.
It is.
He's like the first, person that I've ever seen win a professional sports championship that he's like, cool. You could send me my ring in the mail. I'll be back in October. Like, there is zero chance that I see Jokic at the Summer League when I go in July. He won't be there.
A better chance of seeing anybody else.
This man. I marvel at it. It's wonderful.
Yeah, it is.
Okay, the second thing you want to get to.
Right. So with the Heat now have gone to the finals. This is the second time in 3-ish years. And, you know, both times, didn't they go on 5 games both times? I can't remember the bubble, but
I'm pretty
it's either 5 or 6. But, you know, they have flirted with the title a few times now these past few years, and they just can't quite close the door. So who do they need to pick up, or what changes do you think they need to make in order to make that happen?
They just need another, like I said in the chat, they need another guy in there, another top performer in the league. Because
You
like
think
this,
you think a guard, you think a wing player, big man?
I'm tempted to say, because I don't trust Bam, but I want a guard.
You don't trust Bam?
I trust him.
You said you didn't.
No.
All right, finally.
But priorities.
No.
Priorities. We can't have it all. We can't just
So who would be your
number
dream
one
all over
player?
again.
Who would be your dream player?
Fuck.
Free
Anybody?
Well, no, like who's
Realistically.
He's like, we're gonna get Michael Jordan Brown.
Everyone just come back.
We're gonna have Shaq headbutt somebody.
At this point. Because we can't expect Heat culture. I mean, Heat culture got us unexpectedly to these finals. And yeah, great coaching, Jimmy. Yeah, okay. But to win it when you're facing teams like the teams that we're seeing in the West and how they're stacking up, like that's why I was a little doubtful. I love my team, but I have to be realistic. Otherwise, we're just going to finals or going to playoffs for no fucking reason. So we need to pick up somebody. I know they're thinking about Dame.
What do you think about Dame?
I would love to see Dame in Miami.
I would hate to see Dame.
I'm not sure if that's the answer.
It would actually be good. No, I actually think that is the answer.
Yeah.
I really
Yeah.
do. And the reason why I say that, first of all, can we stop with the Heat culture nonsense?
It's true.
Let's not pretend that every championship that the Heat have won, they had Dwayne Wade, Shaquille O'Neal. They had Dwayne Wade, LeBron James, and Chris Bosh. Let's not act like the Heat have this culture of winning with a bunch of no names.
Right.
Like, we got 5 starters from D2 schools, and we're out here winning chips. Like,
The no names.
I mean, no, you guys do have somebody on your roster. I still don't know who he is, but he is. I know he's white. I know he has the worst hairline I've ever seen.
Cody Zeller.
Since the 80s, because the 80s were all about bad hairline. Like, I'm pretty sure that's why headbands became a thing. And that's why LeBron James wore one for so long. But headbands became a thing because the hairline, Jesus. But there's a guy in the Heat. He just looks really out of place. Like, you need to be teaching science in high school with that hairline. But so let's stop that with the Heat culture for just a second. Like, let's not act like you guys don't win with all stars. Second, Jimmy is, like you said, Jimmy is not that guy. They want to call him playoff Jimmy, right?
Right.
Last 10 games, we're talking game 3 through the end of the NBA Finals. Jimmy Butler did not score more than 28 points in any game. Last 10 games in the playoffs. Want to know how many games he was above 50% shooting? One time. There was one time where he was 5 of 10, which was, I believe, game 5 in the Boston series. In game 4, he was 52.6% shooting. So he was like 9 of 17. So he didn't show up the last 10 games. Everybody hung on that 50-some pointer.
Right, against
that he did.
Milwaukee.
They're like, oh, playoff Jimmy.
Yeah.
No. Like you got Jordan's genes. You don't got all the talent. So they need somebody else. And I do think somebody like Dame, who needs to leave Portland, I think he could be that person, that closer that Butler is not, on a consistent basis. Butler can do it at times, like you said, but I mean on a consistent basis.
Right.
If you put Dame and Butler, and you got a healthy Tyler Hero, Adebayo, I mean he's gonna give you one good half a game like he did in Game 5.
And I feel like
you guys could use a big man.
We shoot threes pretty well. We have Duncan Robinson who, shows up.
Yeah, well,
threes.
Boston got sob stories on how you live and die by the three. So we're right there with you.
You guys have so many wing. Like you have Robinson, Hero, Vincent, Strus, Martin. Like all those dudes kind of play the same way.
Right.
You can give up probably all four of them to go get Dame. Go get Dame Lillard.
They don't need him now.
Keep Hero or Robinson?
Do they need a big man? Yes, most teams
that's
do.
Also
but
true.
you're not going out there and getting a Jokic.
Right.
It's not happening.
Like,
so everyone's going to be like,
get?
we need the next Jokic. And I was like, well, you better go get an embryo from Serbia.
They have like his cousin, right?
Somewhere.
Oh, yeah, they do have a... I forget his name, but he has like the same exact last name. But
okay, first of all, like it's not like all of Giannis's brothers are that great. Like it's not just like you got the same DNA. You're gonna be good. One of them's a G League player, and one is like on the very, very end of the bench. In Milwaukee, so just because you got the same DNA, don't mean you got the talent. But I mean, they do need a big man. But I think as far as like you want to get over the hump, you need somebody like Dame.
Yeah, and it's unfortunate because you guys won't get him because we're going to trade Jaylen Brown to go get Dame Lillard. So.
You're damn right.
Why?
Why?
Leave us alone.
Because we leave you alone. You beat us. Shut up. I'm sick of Jaylen Brown shit too. Not your shit, like the other Brown shit. That guy's shit. I'm tired of his shit.
Where is he going? To fucking New York?
That's where he better not. Because what are we going to get in exchange from Brunson?
Yeah,
I would take Brunson.
I would actually like to see that. Brunson probably be a pretty good deal. What I did want to say though, if you go back to Jimmy Butler before he got to Miami, his knock was that he couldn't get along in the locker room.
That's no problem.
So if you were to bring in another big name, chances are they've got more of an alpha personality.
And like
how
Dame?
would that work? Right. I feel like him and Dame would get along. Obviously, we don't know these people, but
no, they wouldn't.
You don't think they would?
I don't think they would. The only people that Dame has had to play with is Aldridge, right?
For a little.
Okay, he's soft. Okay.
They were also both very young at the time.
And what, like Carmelo Anthony?
Yeah, by that time.
He's about as pudgy in the brain as he is the stomach. Like, great scorer, good NBA career. Glad you played. You know,
I feel like Damon and Butler would get along just fine.
They're just private guys. They like to be in their own world. I don't think they're gonna be buddy, but
they both seem to have a pretty high work ethic, which seems to be Jimmy Butler's like his bane. But
I don't know. I just
if it was not
too
him,
many chefs in the kitchen.
Right, that's the thing.
Like, what if Pippen had the same mentality as Jordan?
Right, it just would not.
How would that have worked? So you're asking Dame and Butler with the same mentality?
I don't see Dame as quite anal as Jimmy Butler.
You can say asshole.
Yeah, sure, right. I don't think he's much of an ass.
Like, people don't like
Butler.
Jimmy Butler when they play with him. That's why he left Minnesota.
like what he did to
That's why he
Bam,
left
for
Philly.
example, it's a little detail, but what he did to Bam when Bam tried to hand him the trophy, he could have just been like,
yeah.
But no, he was like, no, I don't want it. Like that's kind of
Okay, well, and
your teammate.
okay, and
you gotta be that.
you know, like, okay, and if
Hardcore
you're
about
if
it.
you're gonna be that hard, like, actually make a difference.
Right.
That too.
Like
That's fair.
don't do that. Then
And then
lose
you-
game
right.
1. Then say don't worry, we'll win 4, and then proceed to play like shit outside of 4 minutes.
Yeah.
In the fourth quarter in game 5.
Yeah.
But I will say, I think what Heat fans, the reason they don't want him, for example, they don't want him out. They're not going to criticize him that much is because they also admire his work ethic. So what they saw from him when he first took us to the finals was that the work ethic. We shouldn't. People weren't expecting us to be there. He took us there, so that's why we don't want him to. You know what? Screw this guy. He doesn't show up. Although it's fair to say he wasn't playoff Jimmy. He wasn't Hemi Butler in the end.
Okay, but when are we going to get past the point where the Heat were saying that they shouldn't belong? Two finals in 4 years.
Right.
Right.
They
went to Game 7 in the Eastern Conference Finals last year.
Right.
Which is why Portland, please.
But at what point do the expectations actually raise for this team? Like, because Boston's rose pretty goddamn quick and we didn't do shit.
Right.
All of a sudden people are expecting us to win the finals.
Right.
But like Miami goes to the finals and they lose, and I guarantee next year there's not going to be the hype. Like, well, Spolstra better win.
Right. They're just gonna
Jimmy, like, how is he gonna Tatum and Jaylen Brown? Like, are they gonna be them? And like Tatum needs to be the next superstar. Miami's not gonna have that narrative.
No, not at all.
It's the lucky to be there. But they've been there 3 out of 4 years.
Yeah.
Game 7 Eastern Conference Finals.
Heat culture. Just that's why.
I don't know why those expectations don't.
Why don't they have the
apply,
expectations?
But maybe it's the lack of stars. That's the only thing. I can
We
think
probably
of.
have less pressure than Dallas.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Speaking of Dallas, I heard a report today that Miami almost made a trade for Kyrie Irving at the trade deadline before he went to Denver.
Thank God.
And they offered. Now, do you guys think that Miami goes to the NBA Finals with Kyrie Irving and Jimmy Butler?
No.
My God,
man.
that would have been great.
That'd be
Like
reality
Jimmy
TV.
Butler would have been filming like what was it, like Michelob or whatever?
Yeah.
He would have been filming a beer commercial. Kyrie Irving would have stood up in the back, but like the Earth is flat, and then Jimmy Butler would have beat the shit out of him, and thrown him out of the plane. It would have been poetic. I loved it.
Jimmy has so many videos on YouTube. And I just see Kyrie having an issue with one of those videos, just canceling his YouTube channel. Like, I don't know. That would never work out.
I actually kind of want Kyrie to go to Miami.
You went to Argentina? You're a Nazi.
I think I want Kyrie Irving to go to Miami. That is my pick. Kyrie
yes.
to Miami.
Send him in there.
What did we do to you?
Fix the Heat. You just beat us in the conference finals. Send Kyrie to Miami. Let him fix this Heat culture shit. Get all them expectations way out of the way. Just U-boat torpedo the shit out of all of it.
Torpedo the
So that we never have to talk about the Heat again on this godforsaken show.
Yeah.
That'd be great. Because all he does is fuck up every team he's on.
Yeah. That absolutely just implode.
Imploded
Absolutely.
the
You
shit
guys
out
are
of
like,
Boston.
we remember that.
He imploded the shit out of Brooklyn.
Yep.
He just
imploded Dallas.
he took Luka from, hey man, you're like a top 5 star in the game. And we're like, can Luka even play?
I think I'd rather have
Luka was depressed within a week of him being there.
I'd rather have Russell Westbrook on my team than Kyrie Irving.
Damn.
That says a lot.
One of those two needs to be there. God, I would love that so much.
Yes. Well, actual free agency does start here in a little while, so we'll see what ends up happening. But
I bet they pick up Chris Paul. I bet he gets waived.
He's out
and
there.
I bet they get Chris Paul. You get old Jake from State Farm. Gonna be there in the locker room.
all right, wanted Dame, get CP3.
You get the B version of it. You get the fake Nike version.
This guy went from
You
Toronto.
You wanted the swoosh, you get the whoosh. That's what y'all get.
All right, folks.
I love these finals.
It is.
That's great.
And I am interested in seeing what the ratings were for this finals because
probably terrible.
That was big talk.
Denver and Miami.
Yeah.
Come on now.
But anyway, we're gonna go to a break. When we come back in the second half, we will have G Money for the news.
We're not done talking about Shaq yet either.
Right. And what's up with that is what we'll round things out with. So we'll be back in 10 minutes.
Hey. Yeah. Hey. On my way to the boat like I ain't just had on a coat when I landed, outbranded. Perched at the edge of the branches. They don't wanna talk mansions, mine look like a campus. And I'm all about my brothers like the niggas I'm sampling. I'll leave you red shirted like the twins from Kansas. Really living my dreams I used to have in my aunt's crib.
Celtics and Heat, the Eastern Conference Finals 2023 rematch from last year. Who do you think is winning? Me personally, Celtics in 6, baby. Of course I'm a Celtics fan, but even if I take off the old Celtics cap here and just give you a completely unbiased take, I think that we are a more just simply well-rounded team and a deeper team. Miami is pretty well-rounded. They are pretty deep, but we are the most well-rounded, the most deep team left in this playoffs. We take Butler and Tatum and want to basically say that they cancel each other out. I'm fine with that. I, of course, think Tatum's a better player, but in this scenario, if you want to just say that they cancel each other out, cool. The rest of the Celtics roster is simply better than what the Heat have to offer. Like I said, more well-rounded team on both sides of the ball. So Celtics in 6, what do you guys think is the result of this series?
Hey. Yeah. Trendsetter, band frame getter, with whatever. I buy diamonds when I'm under pressure. When I apply, shit don't ever let up. Yeah. Look, I'm in the cut, the boy in the cut. Jump in the whip with the ceiling go up, we up. All of this grinding for what? It's funny when you niggas thought it was luck. I cannot give you a pass if you play with my money and family and friends. And I can.
We got the Lakers versus the Denver Nuggets. God, that just sounds disgusting. I'm taking the Lakers on this one. Why? Because LeBron James in the conference finals is 9 out of 10. Forget all that Jordan 5 out of 6 stuff. That man couldn't make it to the finals during half his career. We're talking about LeBron James. 8-0 in his last 8 appearances in the conference finals. Now they are going up against Denver that has one of the best records in the league, if not the best record in the league. But the Lakers have the best record since the All-Star break. I know Denver still got the Joker, but I think Anthony Davis is going to make him into a joke. So I'm taking the Lakers to make it to the NBA Finals. Mainly because I want to see a Celtics-Lakers Finals. Who doesn't? Really? Come on. Who do you guys think is coming out of the West? Let us know in the comments.
Did you know AFR is also on Spotify and Apple Podcasts? Click the first link in the description below to listen to the most recent episode of the show.
Monday Night Football, AFR. We out here. Damn right, Monday Night Football. Let's go.
That shit is bleeding for some odd reason. Hepatitis ass? What the? Where did you fucking call yourself? What?
Alright!
Let's go! Come on, baby! Baby 12!
All right, how are we getting out of here?
Yeah. Yeah. Yep, in my white tee. Yeah, call up Mike Williams for the hype, please. Nigga, I'm white you before you wipe me. My boxes of checks, not my Nikes. Cactus, not no iced tea. Got them bamboozled like a Spike Lee. You need more than Google just to find me. I just call a beta, get a hyphy.
Incredible, general.
I just got the label just to sign me. Me and Chase connected like we Siamese. We been on a run, feel like a crime spree. Talk to me nicely. I see his face. Yeah, on his white tee. Yeah.
My opinion, if Jimmy Butler is one of the top 3 greatest Heat players of all time, and my answers could be absolutely not. Shaq, LeBron, Wade, Bosh, and all those people who played before him on the Heat, who are by far, I feel like, a lot better than he is for the team and did a lot more. There's a lot more to prove before you even get to mention in that conversation.
Referees, you throw the flag, you blow the whistle. You not throw the flag, you not blow the whistle. We had over the weekend a game between Creighton and San Diego State University where a call put San Diego State on the line to shoot free throws and ended up winning the game, going to the Final Four. We saw a similar thing happen in the Super Bowl between the Chiefs and the Eagles, and it basically, the call put Kansas City in field goal range. So, were they correct calls? Yes. Should the calls have been made to help decide a game at the end? You let us know in the comments. If the Lakers can stay healthy, they're going to the NBA Finals. The biggest adversary the Lakers have this year is their health. If they're healthy, the way that Pelinka has put this team together, nobody's going to beat them if they can stay healthy.
If Miami can maintain their momentum and find a way to beat the Bucks in this series, you will be seeing us in the final. There's no question, ifs, ands, or buts about it, so be prepared to see us.
If the Celtics do not win the title this year, Jaylen Brown is out. Unfortunately, his name is always in trade talks every single offseason, and I'm assuming the Celtics would want to switch up this core group that they've been with these last few years. Seeing that Brown will be an unrestricted free agent next summer, they'd want to move him ahead of time to get a good exchange for him.
All right, AFR Nation, let's talk about my favorite thing that has happened in free agency so far. Baker fucking Mayfield going to the Bucks. Baker ball, baby. I cannot wait to hear the Champa Bay fans turn into Champa Bay fans. Going from Tom Brady to Baker Mayfield. I think they're only winning 3 or 4 games. They'll probably beat the Texans, maybe steal one from the Saints, maybe steal one from Carolina, hell, maybe take 2 from Carolina, I don't know. 4 games at best. But here's my question. How many wins do you think the 2023 Bucks are going to get riding with Baker ball? Let us know in the comments.
I'm going to start it off at the point position, put Luka. Then in the shooting guard position, I'm going to go ahead and put Steph. LeBron at that wonderful power forward position. I kind of up in the air pick is going to be Clay at the other forward position. Very iffy pick. And then, of course, I got to put the Joker there at the big man position. Faye's going to be in a wonderful all-star pick. Clay being that sketchy kind of dark horse role, but I think the team will get it done perfectly.
I got sided with the East, because not only are they better, but Shaq's head sets in the West, so I'm running down the East for you. This is my starting 5 for the East if they were healthy and if there's the East roster. Trae Young at 1. Can't go wrong with that Bulldog. Durant at 2. Hurt now, but if he was healthy, he'd be starting. We're going to go ahead and have Tatum at 3. Going to have Tatum at 3 because we're putting the Greek Freak at 4. You can't move Giannis. And then we're going to finish it off with Embiid at 5. And the reason why is because he's going to break down the Joker's rashy ass like he did last week in the All-Star game. So that's my 5. Shaq's head is setting in the West. I'll give you his rundown later. You tell us who your starting 5 for the West and East would be.
Remember to follow the show on Instagram and TikTok at AFR Sports. That's it, AFR Sports.
Now back to the show with your hosts Jalen, Shaquille, and Malin.
Welcome back to the show, folks. Episode 140, the second half of your favorite show on the internet. G Money, what's up?
Gentlemen, living the dream. Watching the Mariners play, drink some quality scotch, and talking sports. Doesn't get much better than that.
Just making sure there's none of us. I'm glad you're doing well, G Money. Getting a missed call.
What are you sipping on there, G Money?
Hardberg Udengale. Single malt.
There you go.
Can you say that again?
Sure. Hardberg Udengale.
Hardberg. It's
German or something?
It's a Scotch.
No,
right?
no, it's Scotch. It's Scotch.
Hardberg. It's right up there with Brookridge,
Nice.
Glenfiddich. I think it's actually a little bit above Glenfiddich. And
Gotcha.
Glenlivet. So Ardenburg is good. We're not in
Very
Scotch
nice.
realm. And I did notice you got that Jack Daniels glass there. You got it in. It's a nice glass. Got the same glass.
Yeah.
It's beautiful. It's
Don't
good
mind
for
sipping the
Scotch.
Scotch out of that. I gotta get some Scotch
for
glasses,
Scotch.
but that may be something I'd pick up in Vegas.
Yep. Beautiful. I love it. We're drinking beer.
Right. I'm doing a 1985, the Voodoo Ranger.
Looks like a 1985. Here we go. Cheers, gentlemen.
Cheers.
Cheers, G Money.
I mean, it's Belgium. There you go.
Nice.
Close. Whatever. I don't know
There you
what
go.
I'm doing. Nestor tried to put us on our ass with the triple unholy 9 point.
He was trying.
9 point something alcohol.
A couple of those in when you're having a sleepover.
And Nestor's not doing a goddamn thing because he's not here on the couch. And
Shaq's not
Where's
doing
Shaq?
Yeah.
Yeah, I
meant
thought we were
Shaq.
missing
That was
somebody.
mean.
I was looking
apologize.
around going like, there's someone not here. Who could that be?
Well, how can you miss it?
Something's not
show.
here.
Oh, that's right, Shaq. Anybody do a safety check on him?
Yeah.
That's a good question.
He's supposed to be at like some work event. But I think he's with a woman named Diamond. I think.
I think her name is Stephanie.
Stephanie Diamond.
That's her government name.
Her government name.
Sparkles. She's out there on Dale Mabry near the stadium. Plenty of little places to go to.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, there are plenty of places.
I just want to hear this whole like Shaq said, "Oh, Heat and 7."
They're at Sonic, and he's venting about the Heat.
and then
2001 Odyssey.
2001. Good.
He just left there. Now he's at Sonic getting a slushy.
Yeah, he's probably getting him a foot-long chili dog over there. Probably changing teams. He's done with that Heat shit.
I love these Shaq narratives we make up.
They're all
So let's hop into the news for the week. Not much news, but
Today's
this
top
is that
stories and
time of the
breaking
year
news.
where things start to slow down a bit before the fall. So let's start off with the Vegas Knights winning the Stanley Cup. I have little to mainly no information on this. So
oh my God,
we'll go to the aficionado here.
Oh, well, there's two aficionados here. We've been
Both
watching a lot of hockey.
Yes.
Therefore, we can just skip this whole.
No, because okay, I know Miami. Whatever. I did love that somebody posted something on TikTok with the video of Bugs Bunny cutting off the state of Florida, and it had a knight and a nugget logo on it, just cutting off the state of Florida, and just letting the state of Florida float off. And all I could think of is like, how do we get brought into this bullshit going on down there in South Florida.
Right, just from like, can you take from like Boca Raton down, maybe?
Yeah, if you just want to cut it off after St. Petersburg,
right?
Or if you want to take the Rays with you, do that too.
Yeah, you can take it right at the Trop.
But you can't take the Bucks because then you'd be gone. So
yeah, I'd be a bad.
You're right there on the line. I'd be safe, but you'd be gone. I don't know about Nestor, but he's going back to Columbia. Whatever. So Vegas and Carolina, or not Carolina, but Florida Panthers. Now, first of all, the Florida Panthers did exactly what the Miami Heat did. They overachieved in a lot of areas. They were down 3-1 to the Boston Bruins that set the record for the most regular season points in NHL history and came back to win that series. And then what did they do after that? They dominated. Okay? They get to the NHL finals and they come up against a real team like Vegas. Nah, I'm just playing because that would mean that Boston's not a real team. That hurts my heart.
Yeah,
but they come against a team like Vegas. It was actually like Vegas was a lot like Denver. If you want to talk about NBA, NHL comparisons, right? If you want to really understand it, like Vegas was a lot like Denver. They were supposed to be good. They weren't maybe the number 1 seed, but like everyone knew that they were a contender.
Mm-hmm.
They had switched out their goalie early in the playoffs. Vegas did. That guy was playing lights out. But Florida Panthers just ran out of gas, just like the Miami Heat did. Their goalie, which was 7-0 on the road before playing the Vegas Knights, was 0-3 on the road. Like, he played terrible. And, I mean, it was like like a wounded dog just put it down last night when they were down, like, 6-1 at some point. They had to empty the net. They had to take the goalie out midway through the second just to get their first goal.
Wow.
It's like, just stop it. It was like the Rocky Balboa, Rocky... What was it? Rocky IV with Drago just beating the shit out of him and like, there's no throwing and Rocky's like, no, I don't want to do it, and then he dies. Like that's what happened in that scenario. It was just like you're watching and you're like, how many goals can Vegas score? Like, how mean do you want to be? It was completely uncompetitive, unlike Game 5. But the NHL playoffs as a whole was really a lot of fun to watch. You had a lot of there was just a lot of storylines that I really loved about the NHL playoffs. It was Kraken's first time being there, so it was really the first time that I really looked at it from a fan's perspective, because I'll always be like, fuck the Lightning. I don't like them. I've been here since 2003. They can still kiss my ass. And so when they lost, I was like, that's what I'm talking about. This is a playoff I can root for.
Right.
Because the Lightning are no longer in the finals. But no, it wasn't a good series. It was very lopsided. And when I said lopsided, like, it was more lopsided than the Heat Nuggets, because the games weren't even as close, or didn't feel as close. There was an overtime win or whatever, but you just always kind of felt like at some point Vegas was going to win that, win that series. So they're partying hard in Vegas.
Good for them. G Money, what do you
are.
think?
Yeah, so it's interesting, right? You watch hockey and it's physical, and if a fight doesn't break out, then it's a shitty hockey game. You got to have fights breaking out. They break out all the time. And you saw with Florida and with Vegas, especially after game 4.
You're talking the end of Game 4? Woo!
Yeah, when it just went, I mean,
that went sideways quick.
5-10 minutes after the game, they were just pounding on each other. And I thought to myself, I said, this is why Jacksonville likes hockey. This is why the women in Jacksonville like hockey, because all the men have beards and they don't have teeth. So it kind of reminds them of their cousin who they're dating.
But Florida Panthers are in Miami, though.
No, they're in Jacksonville.
No.
Are they?
No.
I thought they were in Jacksonville.
No, it's the Miami area. But the Jacksonville thing still rings true.
I detected no lies.
You still got goat people up there, but no, they are definitely in South Florida.
but no, they when they tried to play hard, when they were checking into the boards and everything, it was like Vegas was like, fine, whatever, we can do the same thing. We don't have that issue. And the one thing I will say about the Panthers is Tchuknik, who fractured his stern.
Still tried to play. Oh, he came back and played that game.
He played the next game too.
Yeah, but he fractured it.
Stern.
He fractured his sternum.
He fractured his sternum,
Yeah.
and he played the next game. He couldn't play the last game because he was in too much pain.
Yeah.
But I mean,
came back out.
Where do you hear
10 minutes later.
Sounds extremely
And played
painful.
with a fractured sternum, and then played the next game, and he couldn't play game 5 because, and he tried. He had his teammates lace up his skates. His teammates had to put his pads and jersey on for him, and he still went in to skate around. Now, meanwhile, I'm kind of reminded of a time when LeBron James had heat fatigue in San Antonio during an NBA Finals because the air conditioner wasn't working properly. I do remember that happening.
I mean, you do look at other sports, and aside from football, where you'll see players play injured. I mean, maybe not as much as you used to in like the 70s and 80s, but they'll still play injured because, hey, that's what they do. But you don't see that in baseball. You definitely don't see it in basketball. In fact, basketball,
Embiid have a tummy ache a couple years ago.
5 games.
Yeah.
It's like, no, man, I can't play.
Embiid had a tummy ache.
Play. No way. No
Oh,
way.
there was which team was it? G Money, where somebody got a skate to the face and got 73 stitches on his head and came back and played in the third period. That happened in this playoffs.
Wow.
There was a scrum where a skate went right and it went up into the helmet and it sliced a guy's head open. And he went into the locker room, got 73 stitches, and came back out and played in the third period and then didn't miss a game.
Kawhi Leonard would have retired.
Like, it is a different beast, hockey, man. And if you watch it, like, if you really watch it, and I would encourage you guys to actually, like, pay attention next year, because I know you guys aren't, like, huge hockey fans, because a lot of it seems, if you just turn it on every now and then, hockey's going to seem like, well, it is completely random. You're like, well, you know, this and this is going on, and others are going on. Oh my God, he scores! And it's like, what the hell just happened?
Right.
But when you start watching games from start to finish, and you watch enough of them, you start to see the strategy, much like you do in football. Okay, you start to see the strategy, and you're not just passing the puck to pass the puck. You're not just passing the ball to pass the ball in football. Like, there's a reason behind what they're trying to do, and you can start to understand it a little bit. Now, I'm still new to the rules. Some of the things don't make sense. Like, sometimes a couple of hockey players and look like they're dry humping each other, and I'm like, there's no foul there. Like, nobody's going to the penalty box on that one. But somebody put a stick up a half an inch above his shoulder, and he's out for 2 minutes. I'm like, what? So there are some differences, but I mean, listen, 6 years, Vegas night, 6 years.
Yeah.
Won the title. Now, people hate them. They hate them. In fact, there was a thing on there was a thing on Twitter. Someone was holding up a sign. We waited 6 long years for this. Ain't nobody have time to hear from.
Yeah, I mean, you just
Like,
know that, like, Toronto and that are thinking, yeah, fuck you.
Exactly.
Fuck you.
It's been like
Burn your
33
team down.
years since a team in Canada has won the Stanley Cup. And they're like, we waited 6 long years. It's like,
Trying to make history.
well, I mean, they went to the finals their first year.
Yeah, the first year. I remember
Which was
that.
crazy.
Yeah.
And then, like, 6 years later, they actually win it. But, you know, I don't, WNBA and the Aces, they won.
Oh, okay.
Now they won. The only problem is I don't think the Raiders are going to follow the trend. I don't think we're going to have a three-peat in Vegas, people.
Yeah.
I don't think Jimmy G's leading them to
Go,
the promised
Jimmy
land.
They're never going to win.
Can't pass a physical. Let's go.
And then if they get the Oakland A's, I'm like, y'all better be lucky that you got the Knights. You're taking all the Oakland's leftovers.
Yeah, dude. My manager at work, he's one of the many managers. He's from Boston, and he's a Boston Bruins fan. And he watches hockey. And this man has told me how many fractures he has, and he was trying to explain to me the penalties in hockey, and he was like, they're not that strict. Like, you hit somebody, it's like what, 5 minutes in the box or whatever.
2 minutes most of the
2
time.
minutes, then you're back again out
4
there.
minutes.
That's pretty funny.
But you can get in a fist fight with somebody, just bludgeon the shit at them, and they're like, all right, 2 minutes, 2 minutes in the box.
2 minutes.
Cool off.
Yeah, or 2-minute misconduct.
If you use the hockey stick, you're getting ejected, and that did happen. Somebody got ejected. I don't know if it was the Western.
10-minute misconduct.
Was that in the Stanley Cup Finals, or was that in the Western Conference Finals?
Yes. No, that was in the finals.
Yeah,
and
if he
10-minute
used the stick,
misconduct, and there's a good chance he's going to get suspended for a few games next season.
Yeah.
Not very many, mind you, but for a few.
And one thing I've learned is that, like, if you want to fight somebody, just mess with the other team's goalie. If you mess with the other team's goalie, they're gonna be like Shaq on a white girl, like in an instant.
Like on Stephanie.
It's not gonna be pretty. It's gonna be ugly.
Stephanie.
The restraining
Stacy,
order.
maybe, I don't know.
At Sonic.
Getting a foot long. That's not Shaq. That's more like a half long.
I love this Shaq scenario we've made up.
So detailed.
At the one right next to Odyssey.
Hold on, I gotta share, because this is just relevant.
Convenient, it's right?
If this isn't Shaq, I don't know what is. If he only lasts 3 minutes during doggy, that's 21 minutes and dog minutes. Keep your head up, Kings. I think that's Shaq appropriate.
He needs to hear that right now.
If you need to start counting dog years in the sex life,
there you go.
Just lay down on the couch and just talk to somebody.
Just makes you seem better than what you are.
Right.
Shaq probably gonna lay down on the couch and put on some porn or something. He ain't gonna talk to nobody. That's what he gets for not being here.
Right. This is what happens.
Not here to defend yourself. Bow dumbass.
Next bit of news. Shannon Sharp leaving FS1 and Undisputed.
Oh man, that was emotional yesterday.
Yes.
It was. First of all, how many people did he have to thank?
I know. He's saying everybody.
Good God. Like the people that did the makeup to the security.
Right.
I don't know. Somebody swept up some trash 5 years ago in the hallway and he thanked them.
It was a lot, but it's also like cool that, he shouted everybody out to, who was a part of him.
But he wanted out.
Yeah. He wanted to leave. I don't think he said exactly what he's going to do.
He didn't say what he's going to do, and he didn't say why he wanted to leave. So do you know why he wanted to leave?
He wanted to leave because Skip Bayless is a fucking dick.
Wow. Well, okay. So that's called ripping the Band-Aid off.
My question is, though, that's not... Skip has always been that way.
No.
So why now?
Well,
that's true. He has.
What it really came down to was, first of all, the DeMar Hamlin thing.
Tom Brady.
I remember that.
Was an issue. Okay. It was an issue. But at the end of the day, Shannon Sharp's... Okay, so when they started, okay, I don't know if you can see this on the screen, but Skip Bayless is up here. Shannon Sharp is down here because he's just starting out.
Right.
Okay. Over what? 7 years, right?
Right.
It was like 6, 7 years. Shannon Sharp's popularity comes up to here.
Mm-hmm.
The problem is that Skip Bayless had total control over the show.
Gotcha.
He gets to decide what you're going to talk about.
Mm.
Okay, and not only does he get to decide what you're going to talk about, but if anyone doesn't realize this about debate shows, you're debating things, and sometimes you're taking a side that you don't necessarily believe in because
Right.
you have to take a side that's controversial.
Mm.
So Skip Bayless is not only deciding content, but who's taking what side, and then Shannon Sharp had to take whatever side Skip Bayless didn't want, and he didn't have any type of creative control over the show, and he wanted some creative control over the show after so many years, but Skip wouldn't relent. Okay, and it's the same thing. It is the exact same thing that led to the breakup between him and Stephen A. Smith at ESPN. They did the exact same thing. He gave Stephen A. Smith a shot at resurrecting his career. I wish to God he didn't do it. Because Skip Bayless's career was dead, or not Skip Bayless, but Stephen A. Smith's career was dead, and it was better off dead. I don't know why Skip did it. I think it's because he was dating his sister, and Stephen A. Smith's sister, not Skip's sister, and like that's why that happened, and that was terrible. Like, so now we all got to hear Stephen A. Smith bloviate the goddamn dictionary every single time he fucking talks. It just yells about shit constantly. But the same thing happened with Skip and Shannon though. It was the same thing. Like Stephen A. wanted more control. Skip wouldn't give it, so he left. Skip or Shannon Sharp wanted more control. Skip wouldn't relent, so now Shannon's leaving. But the only thing that's kind of weird is like where's Shannon go? Does it go to ESPN?
I'm thinking. I mean, he has his own podcast, and it's been doing really well.
But that was on Fox Sports. Now it's not going to be on Fox.
Right, and he can take that and go do that independently because I mean it's all over like all the podcast platforms or whatever. So which I'm assuming he's gonna do that for a little while, but I can't see him only doing that. I'm sure eventually he's gonna pop up somewhere else.
There's only one thing that can happen. If I see Stephen A. Smith and Shannon Sharp on the same show, you just got to turn your volume down in the TV to like 5. Because all they're going to do is yell.
Right. I don't know if they'd be a good fit.
And someone's going to look like a hypocrite because they've been taking the other side of Skip Bayless their entire career, which actually sounds kind of dirty. They've been taking the side of Skip Bayless. But it just, if that happens, I don't know what I'm going to do.
Yeah.
I'm just going to mute the TV and just watch them yell at each other.
I hope not because I don't think that's a good fit.
Like
at
you
all.
need a pretentious shit on the other side. Like, what was this guy's name? JJ
Redick.
Yeah, you
know.
know.
Or Bonmani Jones.
Oh, yeah.
Jeez.
Either one of them.
You know what they should do? They should bring back Michael Smith and Jamel Hill. They should bring those two back. Just put all of them on the same goddamn show. It'll get real racial real quick.
I haven't heard Michael Smith and Jamel Hill in a minute. Man, that's funny. I can't. What was their show name again?
I don't give a shit. That might have been the name of the show. I don't care. All they did was race bait everything.
They were pretty bad.
Jamel Hill race baits everything.
Yeah, and now that's not on
Michael
TV
W.
anymore.
Smith probably hates her. He's like, I hitched my wagon onto you. I was doing good, and then you went crazy after Trump won the presidency, and then now I don't got a career either. Like,
if
I
you
went down
ever
with a sinking
want a
ship.
good laugh, if you ever look at her Twitter, all it is her doing the exact same thing, and all the replies are you're just race baiting.
Always everybody else's fault.
It's like, you don't have to talk about sports. You could just do social justice stuff. Like, you could just do that full time, and you'd probably be a lot more happy.
She's not even good at that, though.
Well, 2023. Everybody's got an opinion, but the other side of this is what's going to happen with Undisputed. Like, Skip are they going to do it with the show, or are they going to find a new partner?
Here's my idea. Because I just like to see the world burn. Okay. Skip Bayless. Joy Taylor. put white old Skip Bayless. Get strong black woman Joy Taylor. Let them go at it.
Well, she's strong.
Talk about whatever you want. Joy Taylor is the strongest woman I've ever known in my life. Now, she's wrong on a lot of things.
A lot of things.
I watch Speak, and I'm like, girl, you can't be that wrong in like Mean Two sometimes. But
I would actually like to see that.
Come on.
I feel like that would actually.
Bam.
I honestly feel like that would work and be very entertaining. I really like Joy Taylor. I really like Skip Bayless. I think they would actually be.
Outside of that, Skip Bayless, bring back Marcellus Wiley. I need Marcellus Wiley in my life talking about sports.
They'd be an interesting fit.
They'd be very
see that, but
you can't bring Jason Whitlock back at this point. That man has gone too far right.
Yeah,
he's gone off to everything is anti-racial. I don't even know if Jason Whitlock realizes he's black at this point. Like, does he know that? Has he looked in a mirror? He concerns me. Him and Marcellus Wiley were great together.
They were
for a while. But then he went off the reservation, and he's continued to.
Right. Another person, like, you don't have to talk about sports. You can go do something else if you want to.
He's been doing that for the most part. But listening to him defend Trump, just
very interesting.
Podcast gold. Look it up. It's beautiful.
That's funny.
But no, Joy Taylor, Skip Bayless.
I like that idea.
She would smack him in the face.
I would watch that.
She will reach over the desk and smack him in the goddamn face. Don't you think?
I think so. She would have enough and be like, "Fuck this show, fuck this contract."
Wasn't she the female?
She was the moderator for a while.
At one point,
I think she was when they first started. I think she was the moderator.
Oh my god! She had to put up with
Coward.
Yeah. That man just like you want to talk about someone that talks to himself constantly. Like you put a mirror in front of him and he just talks like he's talking to himself.
I've always wondered what his wife thinks. She must have either she's deaf or she has nerves of steel or something. Because I don't know how she deals with that.
He started off in Northwest Sports Radio, and there is somebody that is on a sports radio station in Seattle I listen to. It's called Jim and Puck or whatever, and he talks about being an intern when Colin Cowherd was in Portland and being an intern like on his radio show, and he was like, Colin Cowherd would just look at you but be looking through you, and even on the radio just be talking like you don't exist but like he's talking to somebody. And he would never know if he was supposed to say something or not. And he'd be like scared because every now and then he'd be like, You're not gonna say anything? He's like, I didn't know you were talking to me, or you're just talking to the wall again. But Colin Cowherd definitely made his way through like Northwest Radio up there. He's definitely weirdly opinionated too.
Mm-hmm.
He's got his quirks.
Yeah, I didn't like him at first. He quickly grew on me.
Nah, I don't think he's necessarily even grew on me. I think some of his top 10 shit is just asinine.
He's just always so. Like he really believes the shit he's saying. Like
he does,
really does,
with not a whole lot of reason.
No, not at all.
I don't know. Like sometimes you hear him talk about LeBron James and the Lakers like it's the best thing that ever happened. Other times he's like it's the worst thing that ever happened.
Know. The next day,
and I'm like, did you and your wife trade spaces in the bed when you got up? Like is that what happened? But in a second, I would trade my life for anyone else. If I could just get up on TV and talk about sports the way they get to talk about sports,
hours a day,
and just say my opinion,
right?
I'd get fired for talking about Shaq Sanders. But if I could do that, that'd be great. I would do it. Fired in a day, I could last
a week.
Just opens up a notebook.
So get that money up front.
Right.
I'm gonna need
up front.
I'm gonna need a signing bonus because I know I'm gonna say something stupid.
Yeah, Undisputed. It will be missed. I watch them all the time.
I don't know who he's gonna get on that show with him.
Joy Taylor.
It better be Joy Taylor.
God, that would just be so funny.
Anybody else will be a mistake. But
Just don't get Acho on there.
yeah,
It'll
we
be
can do it.
someone new, someone who's just starting out because that's what he does, or someone
Yeah.
who needs to resurrect their career.
Well, but it's got to be somebody that at least people know.
To some degree, yeah.
And like, so I think
Yeah.
about everybody on
Former pro athlete
FS1.
that's recently retired.
Oh no.
Oh god,
Oh,
it's gonna be
no.
McCoy. It's gonna end up being McCoy, isn't it?
No, I'm thinking of TV12.
Oh no, it's not gonna be Tom Brady. Tom Brady ain't going. Now he is with Fox. But no, it's
Could you
not gonna be Tom
imagine?
Brady. Because they can't be white. We've already established this.
Well, yeah, and the whole thing would just be Skip sucking them off the whole time. It was like, all right, we got to
It would
disagree
be.
here.
They wouldn't disagree about anything. Like,
Right.
If Tom Brady was like, I love Bill Belichick, all of a sudden Skip Bayless would be like, I love him too. That's what. I get, like, it can't be Acho. That would be terrible because I don't even like him. I don't even
I
know how
can't
he got as
stand
popular as
Acho,
he got.
man.
Now
Ugh.
the only other person that I think would be hilarious,
Antonio
and
Brown?
They wouldn't they would not get along at all. But if you put Nick Wright with Skip Bayless,
Oh my god.
you want to talk about two of the most opinionated people outside of Colin Cowherd, because you can't get Colin Cowherd. But if you get Nick Wright and Skip Bayless together.
That would be pretty funny.
God, that would be a show, wouldn't it?
That would work pretty well, I've got to say.
I mean, you talk about nothing but Tom Brady and the Chiefs,
Right.
But it
oh
would be-
man, that's Nick Wright would get under every last bit of Skip's
because all he does is throw out facts. That's the
Right.
thing that
He
always
would
infuriates me
just
about
get
Nick
it.
Wright is that he throws out facts,
Mm.
and you're like, I can't even disagree with you. This is ridiculous. I don't like what you're saying, but then you're like, and Skip would just lose.
Right, he would
his
implode.
I feel
mind.
I feel like Skip is just. I love the way he just He does that. I disagree with everything you're saying.
Well, he did this for the last 7 years with Shannon Sharp. He was like, okay, so
Exactly. Imagine
let me
with
tell
Nick
you
Wright.
why I disagree. I'm like, you just let the man talk for like 3 minutes, and then he would like, until he would like feel like he needed to interrupt him, which was often.
I love when he would subtly interrupt him. Like Shannon would be talking, he would just go,
And then
He would disagree with
Shannon would lose his shit and take his glasses off and be like, is this my floor time or your floor time?
He was like, Skip.
I'd be like, all Shannon Sharper
You
has
know,
to do is flex, and he would knock Skip the fuck out. Like I don't even know why
He even disagreed with the speech. That he was like, you did so much for me, blah blah. He's like, did I? Like what?
Yeah. He tried to interrupt Shannon Sharp on his end of thing, and Shannon Sharp was like, nah,
Let me tell you why you're wrong.
shut up. I don't know. Those two just wild.
We're gonna miss him.
Somebody owes somebody a lot of Mountain Dew, though. I don't
yes,
know who owes who.
right.
They made a lot of Mountain Dew back.
Yeah. I had initially started watching them. I think it was Baker Mayfield's rookie year.
Oh God.
So it was summer. It was like kind of around this time, or maybe a little later into the summer. But like there was just nothing going on in sports. ESPN didn't have any debate shows on. I was like, man, I want something to watch. And they were sort of new. I didn't watch any other FS1 stuff at the time, but I was like, well, this is the only thing that's on. And they were just constantly talking about is Baker Mayfield's going to be great or not, and just going back and forth. And then since then, I just kind of stuck around, and then started watching The Herd, and then watched First Things First, and just kind of went from there. But that was kind of how, like, their show was how I got into FS1 in the first place.
I think the crazy thing that happened in that show, and this might have actually been the beginning of the end, when Tom Brady was not playing well, and Shannon Sharp called him out.
Yep.
And Skip Bayless somehow found his way into shitting on all of Shannon Sharp's Hall of Fame career. I don't know if you guys remember that show.
Yeah, that was this past NFL
He
year.
was
yeah.
he literally was like, he's so much better. You don't matter. And it's like, I literally am in the Hall of Fame.
Right.
How does my opinion on how someone's playing not matter? It's like, I don't care. It's Tom Brady. And it's like, you're so goddamn delusional. And so far up Tom Brady's ass that you literally just said my Hall of Fame career does not matter.
Yeah.
Because you think he's better than me.
I don't think it's a coincidence that after that we won't see him next football season. Because, I mean, come on.
Yeah, I was just like
that was pretty like out of everything Skip said, it's probably the most egregious thing that he said.
I mean, then the Damar Hamlin tweet was bad. Skip just didn't even show up, or Shannon didn't even show up to work. He was like, "Nah, man, you do this on your own with your little dumb ass."
It's probably best he didn't, because he just knew Skip was gonna be on some bullshit. So let me not even show up. But anyway.
Oh Lord. Okay. Now
should
that we
be
just
interesting.
propped up FS1 for like the last.
Right. Hey, FS1, if you want somebody else to take your 9:30 a.m. block,
we got you on.
We're
lock.
right. We're right
got
here.
it.
We do 9:30 p.m. We can just
do it.
Alternate right in there.
We can wake up early.
Yeah, we can do that. Probably won't be drinking as much beer on 9:30.
I'll be drinking.
Just, have the drop button ready. Boop, boop. Just have someone with their finger on that trigger to drop things, and we'll be good.
Yeah, so we'll see what happens there. But last but not least on the news, the Vikings did release Dalvin Cook.
Oh yeah.
This man said he's like, the heater done. We on the Cook train. It's like, let's go.
Next year's our year.
Yeah, they basically got rid of him. From what I understand, it was just contract disagreements. Was that the reason why they didn't want?
Pretty much, yeah. They wanted him to take a pay cut. He
Right.
didn't want to take a pay cut, and he's holding out. Like he's pretty. He's come out and said, "I'll wait." So I'm not in a hurry. I know what I'm worth. I'm like, yeah, do you really?
You're a running back, sir.
Listen, if you got Najee Harris out there needing to campaign for running backs on why they need to be worth something, the running back market is in a tailspin. Because he's hurt all the goddamn time.
Do we play Pittsburgh this season? I haven't.
Yeah, you beat them last year.
I don't
so no,
remember.
you don't play this year.
Yeah, I want to smack.
No
If we
free
get Dalvin Cook.
No free dubs on your
If we get
schedule.
They good for at least 8 losses a year. Just so they can keep that Tomlin worthless streak alive.
Stupid.
Never had a losing season. One Super Bowl.
Yep.
Nice.
Go for it.
Whatever. But yeah, Dalvin Cook was, they saw him in Miami, or he put that picture up of him in Miami. Any guesses as to where he'll land?
I think he'll end up in Miami.
I sure hope not.
I think he's gonna coast through training camp because he's gonna put out the "I know what I'm worth," and what it really means is I don't want to go to training camp.
Right.
And then I think he's gonna end up signing with Miami late, but he's not gonna be ready, and you're gonna get a subpar year of Dalvin Cook. He'll probably get hurt, and he's not even probably gonna be ready to really start and play till about like week 3 because he's gonna miss that much training camp.
Yeah.
The only other alternative to that is due to Le'Veon Bell's situation, and we all know how that turned out for his
Right.
career.
Yeah.
So
We got some good. We got some good. What do you call it?
running backs.
No, like backup running backs.
I can't name a single running back on your roster
Because
right now.
we picked up too many.
Gaskin, and you've got
You drafted.
The last time Gaskin was good was like 2017 when he played for the Washington
Good backup.
Huskies.
running back.
You drafted
Ahmed.
that-
We still
that-
have Ahmed.
Ahmed was the same
Ahmed.
thing. Came from the
Yeah.
Huskies. He was last good in
Whoa.
2017.
That's why I said backup.
6 years ago.
You drafted that one kid at was it Texas A&M, I think. I'm not sure, but
What good kids come out of Texas A&M?
I'm not saying it'll be any
Who?
good.
Zero.
Who is good at Texas A&M?
Good running back.
The fact that
I can't think of anybody right now.
We can
but-
start.
the fact that Ryan Tannehill, who was a wide receiver, backup quarterback, is the best Texas A&M player.
Find this kid's name.
Better because they don't exist. Goddamn.
I'm not
Aggies.
saying he'll be any good, but
Yeah, it's gonna be good. And
anyway,
my mom is getting angry at you right now. Anybody from Texas A&M is going to be good because she is a staunch
look-
LSU supporter. You don't like somebody from
Devon
Texas.
A. Chain. That was his
Yeah,
name.
A-Chain.
Is he?
You had to
Hold on. Is
Google
he
it. If you gotta
A&M
Google it, it
or
ain't
was
good.
he Texas Tech? Hold on.
Oh, if it was Texas Tech, you're off the hook. Otherwise, my mom's going to shank you.
Let's start him.
No, it is A&M.
Okay, it's A&M.
Well,
Whatever.
sorry.
Let's start him.
He's going to be shit. He's going to be shit. Like I said, man, Ryan Tannehill was... He was a wide
Yeah,
receiver turned
yeah.
quarterback
Well, that's wow.
just because he had a hot girlfriend.
Two things.
And he played for Miami. There you go.
Yeah.
Number one,
That's
we
right.
are
You guys,
really,
you guys got some Aggie love
That's
there.
we are really
right.
You guys got
international.
some
Because my
Aggie
girl's
love.
watching consistently. Sending me
Oh,
screenshots.
look at that.
And two,
So we probably shouldn't
winning the
tell her
Super
that
Bowl.
you would trade her in an instant for Tannehill's wife. Probably shouldn't say that.
Anyway,
You
I
would-
think we're gonna win the Super Bowl.
I completely forgot that Ryan Tannehill was a Dolphin at the beginning of his career. That's really fun.
I mean, half of it, but yeah.
Yeah. They do love their Aggies.
Did that happen?
They do.
Yo.
I mean, it's possible that Cook lands up with the Giants since Saquon's not signing his tag.
Oh, God, that would be crazy.
Oh shit.
Very interesting. Yeah, go up there, Dalvin Cook.
No, don't.
Go where you can't even be.
What's the
Can't
tag,
mess
like
around.
10.38 million or something?
Yeah.
I mean,
What's the
when
more?
Saquon thinks he's worth a whole lot more than that. I'm like, yeah, you. been
Is he,
injured a lot,
though?
so-
He's not.
Running backs,
Is
man.
he? No. He's really not. And what he should do is probably take the tag. But I know why he's doing it is because he has been injured, and the propensity there is for him to be injured again at some point this season. So he wants to sign like a 4-year, $75-80 million contract with probably 35 to 40 million guaranteed, so that when he does get injured this year and he can't play anymore, he's got that money and it's banked, as opposed to playing under the tag and getting injured and only banking a percentage of that.
Hey, Zeke still available.
Zeke's still out
Zeke's
there.
out there,
He's
too.
still available. Now,
Zeke come to Miami.
now, here's one interesting question that I would love. I would love all of your guys' take on this. Right? Okay, so in the NBA, you went from big men to small ball, shooting fast, rules. Kind of help that also. Then all of a sudden you got someone like Jokic that's going to make all of the NBA teams look for another big man, right? You're seeing like a transition. In the NFL, how many years has the NFL been undervaluing the running back position? Oh, you can always find another one. What type of talent is it going to take for a running back to change it back to where the running backs matter again? Like, what would have to happen in the NFL for someone to look at the running back position the way that the NBA is looking at Jokic in the big man position again? Like, what would have to happen?
I feel like the NFL just
Is it too far gone? Is it never going to happen
suck
again?
off
Yeah,
so
I
much
mean,
that
the
QB that
offensive
just
philosophy would
runs
have
the
to
ball
change,
at this point.
And since they're since the rules as far as tackling the quarterback and everything have changed, and pass defense has changed as far as the rules go with that, it's actually opened up the game to be more wide open. And don't forget that Zeke Elliott signed a second contract
Didn't
with
live up
Dallas,
to
and,
it.
and that turned out to be a dud. So everybody looked
Right.
at that and they're like, why should we sign a running back when we can draft one? Because Pollard's taking Zeke's place, and he was drafted late. So that's what people look at. They look at, I don't need to draft a running back in the first round. I I can continue to draft running backs, and they're going to be good. And I don't need to sign one after their first contract. I mean, Seattle tried to do that with Penny. I mean,
That's
they
terrible.
basically
That's
did not
such a
pick up
bad
his
pick.
5th-year option, and then
Oh
they
my
signed him to a
Dumbasses.
$2 million basically prove-it year, and then he did great for four games, and then that was it. Broke his leg. So people are looking at why tie up that type of money, especially when you have to tie the positions now that are really valued: quarterback, wide receiver, left tackle, center, D end, and defensive back.
Yep.
And so if you're going to tie up a majority of your cap in those positions, then you're going to not worry about the running back because you're just look at being able to draft one in the later rounds, and it'll be just a plug and play, right? You'll draft one, you'll have him for like 3 years, you'll draft another one. And that's what they do. I mean, they look at the quarterback, the running back, should I say, and really the question is, why do you even waste a first-round pick on a running back?
Right.
Well, I think the last running back who was drafted in the first round, it was like really on that upper echelon, was probably Adrian Peterson. Leonard Fournette, he was supposed to have that promise going in Jacksonville. Never panned out. I think Joe Mixon was even a 2nd-round pick.
That's right, yeah, because he had all that shit going on.
Yeah. But you don't really have a bell cow.
I mean,
3-down back right now. You don't have the Marshawn Lynch's or.
You want to say Najee?
No, you don't. No.
Well, I mean,
he's not. He can't.
Derrick
He can't
Henry,
catch
I
the
don't
ball.
think was taken in the first
Yeah.
round.
Yeah.
So
Derrick
you
Henry.
have, you
Yeah.
have the backs. You have the
Even
they're
he's
out
hurt.
there, but
That's the thing.
you don't want to spend the money on them because if you're going to drop $40 million on your quarterback a year,
right?
Do you really want to drop $20 million on your running back, or are you going to end up spending $25 million on your wide receiver?
Yeah, because what's the point of paying someone like Derrick Henry if you have to have Ryan Tannehill as your quarterback?
Right.
And then you lose people like AJ Brown.
Right. Yep.
To Philly because you do that. And I mean, Tennessee came as close to anybody as being able to use the bell cow running back to make it to a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Well, but 13-3 record a few years ago.
Yeah.
Lost to the Chiefs. Why? Because Patrick Mahomes is Patrick Mahomes.
Right.
Yeah, I think
a couple of years where they were going deep in the playoffs, or into the playoffs.
I think back to Malin's question, he would have to overshadow, because we're seeing that hype about what Jalen Hurts does when he runs the ball. He would have to overshadow that, but be way more healthy than Derrick Henry.
Because
you okay, but here's my thing. I think you need a Barry Sanders type versus a Derrick Henry type. I think you need somebody because you need explosiveness.
Yeah.
At that position, not just running between the tackles to really kind of make the running back position pop again. Because you can create all the importance you want, but if you have another Barry Sanders in the NFL, that's like Michael Vick at the quarterback position. That's like Lamar Jackson at the quarterback position. That is crazy, and we have not had that in the NFL for a very long time. Right. So I don't know. It's gonna be weird.
It doesn't help, like what Nestor's saying, when you have these mobile quarterbacks now. It really cheapens it, even the running back position even more, when you know a Hurts, a Jackson, even Patrick Mahomes, who can go get you 5 yards here or there, or just go pick up a first down. It's like, we don't even have to hand it off now. It's like if you've got a fairly mobile quarterback, a lot of times they're just so worried about the deep ball that they can go get 5 or 10 yards easy on their feet. So it just sets back the running back even more.
Fucking Josh Allen.
Right, Josh Allen's another one.
I'll just say this. I think the rushing record is safe with Emmitt Smith.
Right, yeah.
I don't think anybody's ever going to break it.
Yeah, it seems like it. Cool. So we'll move out of the news and get into a topic that has not been on this show in almost a year-ish, which
Love
is,
this
of
segment.
course, what's up with that, folks. This is where we air out our grievances in the world of sports in the last 7 days. So, usually, I don't want to call anybody on this show, but when Shaq is here, a lot of times he will call out things that
His own team.
might be his own teams and get highly upset and keep us here until very late at night talking
Talk about the Steelers before training.
Well, we won't have that this week. You'll come back next week for that. Would anybody like to volunteer to go first?
Go ahead.
I love how
Mister.
you're looking at me. No, I don't really have any grievances. I have to think.
You don't have any grievances?
No, for
You
it.
just lost an NBA final.
I wasn't.
100%.
Yeah, but they overachieved, so you can't be pissed off about that.
I think I could still find a way to be pissed off if I was a Heat fan.
Like I said, it's not a grievance. We just need help. We can't just keep going through these emotions like this.
Yeah, but you do a real good job of getting talent that people don't see and developing it. And you guys are going to be 11 million over the cap next year. 11 million over the cap. So I don't know what you
without
got
even
to
good
do.
players.
Right. For
Jesus.
what? Who's putting you over the cap? Like,
God damn. Wow.
Max Strus?
Woo. That white guy with the hairline? What are we-
Gabe Vincent. It's
Damn.
Gabe Vincent, actually. Tell you what. Yeah, we actually have to let go of either Gabe or Max. I think it was one of those two.
Aren't these guaranteed contracts on the NBA?
Right.
You can just let them go. Damn. Hey, football.
Send them over to Portland.
I mean, obviously it can't be either one of those guys. What they're making, like $10 a year. They're both undrafted players. Like
they get to buy a Whopper once a
Swear to
week.
God,
They gotta go to
I swear.
practice.
I swear I saw this on TikTok. I swear.
Yeah.
It's
Alright,
not.
so-
It's not the other kid. It's not
not Caleb Martin.
Twin Caleb Martin. It's not him.
I would hold on to him. He is.
He's alright. He's good.
Out of all of them, he's got a lot of promise. But
sure, whatever you say.
I mean, Kyle Lowry, I'd probably let go.
Goodbye.
If you could, but you can't with that
If
contract.
you could, yeah. Well, I don't know what.
Jeez.
I mean,
I wonder what he makes.
Yeah.
Make him more than what he deserves.
Got that right.
I mean, Kevin Love.
Yeah, that man's making some money.
I mean,
too.
he
God
could probably
damn.
be.
You guys got
He's probably
Kevin Love
making,
on the roster. Shit, that's terrible. All right, so my what's up with that?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. So we talked about it last week with the PGA, PIF, LIV, don't give a fuck, whatever acronym we want to give it. Came out with an announcement that everything is going to merge, right? Since that announcement, not a single goddamn thing has been said on how any of this is going to work. Nobody knows what's happening. The only thing we know is that Monahan, the PGA commissioner, is like, now all of a sudden I got a medical condition because everybody on the PGA Tour hates me, so I need to step away.
Now he's not feeling well.
It's like, I'm not feeling good because maybe I drank Saudi oil instead of taking Saudi money. I don't know what it is. Maybe it was crude oil. It wasn't an energy drink. I don't know what they gave me in my tea. So he's gone now. But like, you don't know what's happening. Like, there's so many rumors. Oh, well, PGA players that didn't take live money, they're going to somehow be compensated. Well, how the fuck is that going to work?
Right.
Is the live tour going to be there in 2024? Greg Norman seems to think so, but everybody else seems to think that Greg Norman's out of a job. So you don't even know if the live tour is going to be there. People didn't even know it was going to happen. Tiger Woods, Rory McIlroy, like all these people on the player advisory thing. Nobody knows what's happening. Like, live players don't even know if they're going to be eligible for the Ryder Cup. So you made this announcement, and it kind of seems like the only four people that know what the announcement means, or the 4 people that are in the room and they don't want to tell anybody.
Right.
Because even Brooks Koepka was like, maybe I will, and maybe I won't see you guys at the Travelers Cup next week. Like, I don't know what's happening. Like, there's just you drop this bombshell off on the sports world, and you're like, figure it out for yourself. Somebody become an investigative reporter. We're not going to give you the clues. So that I'm pissed off about that. Like, don't just give us this thing. Tell us what the thing means.
Yeah.
There's so much speculation going on.
Mine is very similar to yours. It's just the fact that Monahan decided that he's not feeling well.
Oh yeah. I got some stress induced ulcer now.
Right. Huh.
With millions of dollars.
Now you're feeling. I wonder why you would be feeling this stress.
Because the PGA Tour players were about to beat you with a 6 iron. All of them collectively were going to hit you with a hybrid.
As somebody that does taxes, I guarantee you guys, like, I could bet anything on it that they just spent 95% of their time understanding what they were going to do financially, like who was going to get the pay cut of what, like how they're going to, and then second, structuring this as to like how they're going to
what it's actually
taxes
gonna look like.
No, taxes.
Yeah.
Like they have no idea what it's going to look like.
I see.
You got players from the live. They're like, well, I kind of wonder what all of these PGA Tour players that were saying they were going to come over to live because it was blood money.
Right.
So I guess you guys got to go play on the Japan tour now, because World Tour, PGA Tour, and live, we're all about that Saudi money now. We're all about that PIF.
Yeah, I want to.
So if it's blood money,
you can't play here.
Have fun in Okinawa.
I want a house in the Palms. You seen the Palms in Dubai?
Like,
little angel-looking thing.
It's just, I don't know, man. It's just the fact that PGA Tour is now all of a sudden read, well, because the PIF is going to funnel the money to the PGA, now all of a sudden it's righteous.
No,
it's not. It's not blood money
They're
anymore,
washing it,
and it's actually good for the game because it funnels through the PGA. It's clean because it's wholesome.
Yeah.
And your daddy liked the tour, so you should like the tour. Like, it's just, I don't know, man. I just want to know what the fuck is going on with golf, and I have no idea what's going on with golf.
Yeah.
And if another live player wins the U.S. Open, which I hope Brooke Koepka does, Jesus Christ, it's just, you shouldn't be able to have this much turmoil in golf.
You wouldn't think so.
It's broadcast as the gentleman's game.
Right.
There's not supposed to be all this animosity. And then you got Phil Mickelson's live team being sued by some South American apparel maker for a logo being too close for the other one. I don't even give a shit enough about it to even mention what the name of the company is. I just know that they're getting sued for it. And I'm like, what kind of half-ass shit are we doing?
It's a weird time. That's for damn sure. G Money, what is your what's up with that?
So as I jump on the whole live thing as
there
well.
We go.
Yeah,
it's golf.
If you're going to announce, right,
what
that basically the PGA, live, and everything, that you're all merging, then you should put out details as to how it's going to work and the whole transition time. I understand that PIF had a shitload of money. I mean, no, seriously, a shitload of money.
Well, there were 600-something billion.
Oh no, that's
lowballing it.
A drastic underestimate.
Okay.
Tax estimate.
Drastic.
That's the tax liability. Is 666 billion.
So what they were looking at, right? So obviously the PGA already owed $50 million to their attorneys fighting live, and they realized that they don't have unlimited funds. They can't keep doing this. Live can. Live has unlimited funds, and they can do it until you're fucking dead, and they will. because
they could kill you.
The people behind Live wanted a part of the PGA. So they made an offer, as they say in the Godfather movies, and made an offer you couldn't refuse. And he couldn't. And it was like, money to prop the PGA up, put 2 of the people on the board, but there was no details as far as how are we going to merge? What's the time frame? Are there going to be any penalties for Live players coming back to the PGA? If they are, what are they? I know that PIF came out, I think it's today or yesterday, and basically said they were going to create a fund for the PGA players.
Yeah.
So that they would be compensated. But okay, that's fine.
So now it's okay to take
what's
the Saudi
compensation?
It is now.
And meanwhile, since these details aren't coming out, there are senators and congressmen that want the DOJ to investigate this now. And so now it's like you've got the government involved that really shouldn't be. And you should have just released all the details. I mean, if you're going to make this, and it was you and basically the PIF that sat down and hammered out this deal without letting anybody else know, and then you're going to say, okay, this is what's going to happen. You need to release some details and say, okay, this is the path forward, and this is how we're going to do this, and this is how we're going to compensate the PGA players that I made stand up and basically call the Saudis freaking murderers and the face behind 9/11. And now I'm saying, no, I meant they were the owners of 7-Eleven. And
God damn,
they're not murderers. No, these people died of natural causes.
They're just selling
Natural
gas.
causes.
They're like Exxon.
Yeah.
So,
I mean,
another thing that's crazy about it, though, is it like, okay, so if you're going to try to give people like Rory and Tiger money, right? You sat there and vilified and crucified Brooks Koepka, Dustin Johnson, Phil Mickelson, all these people for taking the money. And then on the back end, all of a sudden, we're like, well, now that we're all one, like, where's my piece? And now it's okay. Like, we're not being hypocritical. Like, you defamed these people.
Yeah.
And now all of a sudden it's okay if you get the money and all is going to be well. If I was Phil Mickelson, I was like, nah, man, I'm going to find somebody in the mob and we're going to break your goddamn kneecaps. Because Phil Mickelson with his gambling, he knows some people in the fucking mob. And then like he was, so another thing that's crazy to me though is the Ryder Cup. So you still have no transparency of what's going on with that because you've heard some people saying that are on Live saying, yeah, I'm going to be able to compete in the Ryder Cup now on the U.S. side. But the World Tour, which is a part of this whole merger, which everyone forgets about the World Tour because it's not really that relevant, but it's there. Anyways, sorry, Gary. And so they came out and said that they're not reinstating anybody until 2024. So anyone currently on the Live Tour now isn't eligible to play for the Ryder Cup team this year, but yet it might be open for U.S. players to play on the U.S. side. I'm like, how did we fuck up golf so badly? You want to know how we fucked up golf so badly? 4 years ago, the PIF wanted in on golf, and the PGA Tour turned their nose up at them and said, no, we don't want your money. And the PIF was like, well, you know what we're going to do? We're going to contact an Aussie. We're going to get us a Greg Norman. And we're going to throw a shit ton of money around because we have a shit ton of money. And you might not want it right now, but you're going to want it in a little bit.
Yeah.
And all they did was create anarchy.
Yeah.
And the PGA Tour felt like they were better than what they were. And they wanted to keep that nonprofit status.
Right.
And so they didn't take the money then, but they're taking it now. And it's ridiculous. Yeah, the fact that the PGA Tour is still a nonprofit pisses me off.
Biggest joke. Biggest joke.
You're at PGA Professional Golf Association. Professional. Yet you're nonprofit.
Their accountants are like,
it's a bigger joke than college football. It really is.
Yeah.
How are you a nonprofit?
Right. It's like dressing up as a police officer.
You're nothing
on
like
Halloween.
a soup kitchen.
It's like when you show your police badge on Halloween. It's like, oh, ha ha.
Yeah, it's like what do you nonprofit?
Jesus,
you got a 501c3 for what? The hell? How did Arnold Palmer and Jack Nicklaus figure that shit out when they helped form the PGA? God damn.
Well,
all right.
What's up with that? It's back, folks.
There we go.
Back in full force.
And it was all golf.
Right.
Except for whatever he said. I don't remember.
We don't have
his own team.
Okay.
But did I go over
Shaq Incarnate. What the
I told you guys I don't have any grievances actually.
Give it one more week. You will.
It's because he's in the States. When he's back in Columbia,
when he's back in Columbia.
We're going to find something to complain about.
Mm-hmm.
We're not going to see Nestor until 2024.
First 3 weeks should be great. After that, I don't know.
This man's going to... Sooner or later, we're going to see Nestor live from a cave. Like he's goddamn
With
Ben
Wi-Fi.
Laden. Because he's going to have to go underground to stay away from the Colombian government because his girl isn't going to let him leave.
Right. He can't leave.
Illegal shit.
You asked for this.
I know. It's good.
Yeah, it's fun.
It's worth it.
It's fun.
Yep.
That's what they all say.
Anything else you guys want to mention before we wrap up?
I think Shaq's a bitch. That he's not here.
I mean, following up on golf, I think it's interesting that Rory and Brooks are going to be teaming up together. Yeah, that should be fun.
Yeah, Rory and Brooks, Kafka are going. No, but let's go back to Shaq's a bitch. He should have been here tonight. His Heat lost. He said Heat in 7. They lasted 5.
That would be like that would be like Jimmy Butler saying, "I have a tummy ache."
Session.
Game 5.
He might as well have had tummy ache
thing.
as effective as he was throughout the whole final. But this big ass seat right here has a Shaqless imprint on it.
Come on, man. Should have been.
And
here.
I mean, his head could have been touching that light up there. He's like Rick Moranis in Spaceballs, except he doesn't need the helmet. So he should have been here, and I'm a little bit disappointed because he said he was going to be here. Heat and 7 my ass. Fake ass fan, bandwagon ass motherfucker. No, you don't get to be a Heat fan and a Pittsburgh Steelers fan and a whatever the fuck fan. Just picking shit out of thin air. And then
when you lose, you don't show up.
Get out of here.
Come on.
What you got to say, Shaq? That's right. Crickets. Because your bitch ass ain't here. So
He's always getting on Nestor about being a fake fan. Nestor.
I watched till the last
I
minute
got respect for
of
this
that
guy.
game.
He was in the chat. I was wrong the whole time. Shaq made me believe that he was fake.
Right.
He's real.
Right.
He's about to be endangered. I ain't going to see him again, ever, probably. And I feel really bad about that.
Cocaine. I know, but it's.
But no. This is a real fan. Showed up in the chat. Shaq
In
had
the
a
chat
goddamn
and
belief.
in person.
And all he said was, "Welp."
That was the only smell was Welp.
That's come on. That big ass head of yours, you can't come up with more than one word.
And then he said, "At least we made it there."
At least, yeah, okay. That's
come on.
That's the cry of a loser. When you lose, you lose.
Right.
There's no well, at least we made it. Like you're never going to hear me talk about Super Bowl 49. Well, at least the Seahawks made it. Nah, we lost, and I'm pissed off, and I will hate you for the rest of my life. You know I love you. You know I love you, but I hate you at the same time.
It is right.
Because you represent sports hatred for me. But you got Shaq. Well, at least we made it. I don't. He's like a drunk Charles Barkley and Shaq combined in one. He's like, well, at least we made it up to the championship. And, squirrel, and then we did things that other people didn't do. Playoff Jimmy didn't do shit, but work dinner, so I can't be here. So like that's pretty much what Shaq is right now. So he got some explaining to do next week when we get on the goddamn show. That's what he said. He said work dinner.
What?
Yeah. What that really means to be is what it really means is work girl. And so that's why I say there's somebody out there named Diamond. Is he getting a tip? So yeah. Okay.
We'll see him next week.
It's 9:25. We'll see. Maybe he might listen to this whole show and be like, I ain't showing my face. But it'd be hard for him not to show his face because I think the Earth doesn't spin fast enough for you not to miss the revolution of his face. It's like the moon. It's always there. You can just look up and see it. Like Shaq says, like the bat signal. It's up there. So,
on that note, we'll bring this in for a landing, folks.
There we go.
Thank
Better
you all.
than Discovery because that shuttle crashed and burned.
Yes. Thank you all for listening, for watching.
That was terrible. I'm going to hell. All right. Have a good night, everybody.
See you all next week. Peace.